This trail is a project that will completely elevate the Fort Wayne and Allen County area. So I'd like to turn it over to our first partner in this project, Mayor Henry, representing the city of Fort Wayne.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Actually, she told the truth. As soon as it started raining and lightning, she handed me everything electrical. That wasn't cool. That was actually kind of a scary moment. But seriously, thank you all for coming. You know, I get asked from time to time, why are trails so important to you as a mayor and to the city of Fort Wayne? And I thought about that, and really I came up with 3 distinct reasons why I feel trails are truly important to any community. First of all, it contributes to regional growth. We really want to distinguish ourselves as a primary area in Northeast Indiana. The only way to do that is to begin connecting ourselves to other communities. So ultimately, as many of you know, our plan is to have this trail system, PufferbellyTrail, going from Angola, Indiana, all the way down to Bluffton. And this is the beginning of that. And I've talked to the mayors of both cities, and they're anxious. I'm not sure they're going to be in office by the time we get done, but they're anxious about us connecting our communities because we truly are trying to address a lot of our needs and our wants and our desires from a regional perspective. So this will contribute undoubtedly to regional growth. Also, I think it's a major contribution towards economic development. You know, we ask a lot of employers to consider Fort Wayne, and it's more than just the economic incentives from a financial perspective that they're asking for. It's quality of life. And a part of that good quality of life is being able to offer their employees, our future citizens, ways that they can recreate other than going to parks. They want to be able to go close to their home, visit their neighbors, all with a network of trails. So they can bicycle, they can walk, they can run, and they can get together with others and enjoy what the trails have to offer. And finally, from a health perspective, we're standing here right next to a YMCA. So what better place to stand and to say to you, trails are also an important contribution towards your health. So I expect to see all of you on the trails at one time or another, bicycling, walking, running, well, maybe walking, but seriously, it can really contribute to the health of you and your family. So for those 3 reasons, I think it's important that communities, to the extent that they can, contribute to a trail network. And Fort Wayne right now, I believe, is leading the pack in the state. We continue to add more and more trails. I believe this particular section is about a mile and a half, mile and a quarter, and that's a good way to keep this thing going. And I eventually expect it to go all the way through downtown. Hopefully, we'll have another meeting like this to say, look what we've done and look what we're going to do. So thank you all so much for allowing me to stand before you and say this is good. It's a great way for Fort Wayne to say we're a great community. Thank you.
Thank you to Mayor Henry, and I just really want to thank and recognize everyone from the mayor's office, from the city, who is here today, who has worked tirelessly on the trails for so many years. We have Bob Kennedy, the head of Public Works, Don Ritchie, Amy Hartzog, missing representatives back there. But let's just give the city thank you for helping to lead the way in this project. Next we have Allen County Commissioner Therese Brown, who has been next to us all the way in making the trail system happen for Allen County. So, Commissioner.
Thank you, Lori. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we want to tell you that we fully support the system of trails. It's been a long time, a long relationship before the merging towards the bigger goal here of combining several organizations, but we've been very pleased to be part of that. As Mayor Henry said, it's one of those things that is an economic development driver, in that we want to have all the amenities for individuals when they come to Fort Wayne, that their health, their safety, the opportunities to connect with each other, that it's really important to have trails, opportunities for health and connectivity. It's a phenomenal thing to have as a city, as a county, and as a region. It's been a long, difficult pathway, if you will. There's been some obstacles. It's not necessarily been easy for this organization and for whether it's the city or the county to make sure that we get the land acquisition, but through partners with the state, different organizations merging together of the trail system, we're getting there, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with a few more ideas, as well as with the Allen County Highway Department helping to make sure as we increase our roadways and connectivity with projects of road improvement, that we get the trails also incorporated. So from that standpoint, we're very pleased to be part of that, and I'd like to commend my partner in crime over here, Commissioner Peters, for being part of this as well, and Commissioner Bloom, but also for those of you who also belong to the Parkview Y, as I am one of those members as well. So I'm glad the bird has been taken care of. That's all I got to say. But on to the festivities, and thank you. And we look forward to the movement forward to the state line through Angola. Thank you very much.
So I'd like to introduce Bob Bronson with the Indiana Dnr, just to say a few things on behalf of the state and the DNR's role in the project.
Yeah, I guess I'm a last minute chosen to represent the state, but glad to do it. On behalf of the Governor Pence, as well as my director, Cameron Clark with the DNR, it's good to be a part of another trail, a piece-by-piece movement that we have around the state. One of the goals we set almost 10 years ago is to try to have a trail within 15 minutes or 7.5 miles of everyone in the state. And actually we've basically met that goal. At like 99% of the state has that opportunity. And now we're actually have reduced that circle per se, that we're trying to be within 5 miles or 10 minutes of everyone in the state. So this action project, we administer a fund called the Recreational Trails Program. It's federal money. It's 80/20 monies that we use to do just what we're trying to do here today. So it's great to participate fiscally, as well as knowing all the good that trails do. And I've been doing this for over 20 years. And the idea of trails it took a while to catch on. Actually, Fort Wayne had one of the first trail systems in the River Greenway system. But it has grown, and it's much easier to do, and it's just great to be able to participate in a local community's action to make trails a happening. So thank you.
We really see the trails as a game changer in the Fort Wayne and Allen County area, and we have representatives here from Greater Fort Wayne Inc., the Regional Chamber. And changing the game is not an easy thing to do, right? It's not something that you just wish for it to happen and it turns around. So it takes all of these people, all of this support. We have 13 different foundations who have contributed to this project. Some representatives are here. Kim Sobrowski with AEP was a major donor to this project. We had the Journal-Gazette Foundation, the Our Foundation, the Wilson Foundation, the SLED Foundation were some of our major donors. So we really want to express our appreciation. We also have a land donor amongst us. Richard Vonnegut with the Indiana Trails Fund helped to preserve this corridor many, many years ago. And we've seen what happens when a corridor can't be preserved. It's endangered to be developed, and then no one can use it for this health, recreation, economic vitality that we've been talking about. So it takes those people planting the seeds early on, and that's what it's going to take going forward as we extend the Pufferbelly corridor. So this right here that we are standing on is the most heavily used area of the trail where we're about to shovel. We see in the summer months about 50,000 trail visits right here in this area. So we know this next section that we're about to build will serve a whole lot of people. So we're gonna do shovels, we're gonna do food, maps. That's the game plan. So, right. Ready, 1, 2, 3. Right. Just have a mile and a quarter.
What is going to be the temporary crossing at Dupont Road?
We're not going to have a temporary crossing, unfortunately.
So
It's just too dangerous for
So
trail
technically,
users.
the Solomon Trail section and the La Cabrera section
We will have
of
a
the-
couple of years where there won't be a connection until this below grade crossing is
until
built.
people run back and forth and run back and forth.
Yeah, and they will. They'll ignore our signs.
So,
Unfortunately.
so what monies are you applying for?
Well, we're widening. This is a federally funded road project. We're widening Dupont Road from Lima Road to Coldwater Road, and we're building a trail on the south side and a sidewalk on the north side, which will connect a lot of residential neighborhoods along the Dupont Road corridor with all of the commercial entities along this corridor, and the Pufferbelly Trail and
Hold on.
Solomon and the YMCA and the library. Also Parkview Hospital and Dupont Hospital, so it's going to provide a lot of connectivity. But the part of the project that I'm most excited about is the below grade crossing under Dupont Road that will be part of this Dupont Road widening project.
and the widening
that'll-
will take place from when to when?
2016 and 2017, it's a 2-year construction project.
And so then the two sections of the
We'll be connected finally. Yep.
will be connected. Okay, that's super. What about getting from the ditch to Gump Road and on to Schoaf Road? What's happening? Well, that's outside the city's purview.
Well, we're
correct?
working on railroad acquisition. We've already acquired most of the corridor from Carroll Road up to Peyton County Park.
Oh, to the park. Ah.
There are a few segments we still haven't acquired, and then Fort Wayne Trails is going to be applying for additional Bicentennial Nature Trust funds to get from Gump Road up to, I don't remember what Josh told you, but and then of course we are working with you on Schoaf to Fitch, and then from there Acres, I believe, owns
Yeah,
part of the
Acres
railroad
owns some.
corridor north of Schoaf to Fitch, and then we're at the county line. So we're really, really close to having that railroad corridor
Go through the-
acquired, and not only that section up there, but right now we're working on acquiring the railroad corridor from Wallen Road to Washington Center Road, which is another 2 miles. We hope to build that next year. If not next year, then the year after.
Nice.
I know.
So in two to 3 years, you'll go 2 or more miles south of there.
Right.
Washington, that takes you almost to the airport and the school.
That takes us
And then-
past the school and the airport.
Oh, past.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and then you'll be going almost to the county line.
Right.
And
Well, there are no construction funds set up for north of the Delagrange ditch yet. Right now, we're just
Okay.
working on acquiring the railroad corridor.
Oh, cool. Oh, wow. That's
But really, all of this from Washington Center Road up to the county line, it could be built in the next 5 years if we can find the construction funds. And then, of course, we're also working on probably the most important trail project that Fort Wayne has ever seen, and that's the Pufferbelly Trail Phase 1. We call it Phase 1 because it's actually the trail that we started working, the phase we started working on first. We've been working on it since 2007 when we received transportation enhancement funds, but in the next few years we're going to be building that 2.5 mile segment, which will go from downtown and the River Greenway up to Glenbrook Mall and our ice skating rink, or the what's it, Canlin? It used to be called Canlin.
Parkviews, Canlin Ice.
Yes, Parkview's. It's not an ice skating rink; it's an ice hockey
Ice Center.
venue.
Yeah.
There's also the field house there, and then the Sky Zone. Then it also will connect with Franke Park and our children's zoo. But in addition to that, it connects with everything downtown, including Sight and Central and Lawton Park and Headwaters Park and the whole downtown area.
Now, when it gets to the shopping center, and this section goes to the interstate, how are you going to cross the interstate,
We'll go under the interstate along Washington Center Road.
Washington Center Road, and then you go through the shopping center? Do you go around the shopping center, or how do you go?
We will go around the shopping center.
You go around the shopping center. Okay, so that connection is feasible.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
But it's going to be expensive. We to get over Coliseum Boulevard, which is State Road 930, we have to build a pedestrian bridge, and we estimate that to be probably $5 million.
Oh, good.
But our
5
goal
million
is,
for the bridge?
huh?
5 million for the bridge?
Our goal is to build from downtown up to Coliseum Boulevard, and then build from the north down to Coliseum. And then once those segments of the Pufferbelly meet at Coliseum,
the demand.
People have to step up at that point and say, look, here's the money to build the bridge.
Yes, yes.
So that's when we think our MPO will step in and say, actually our MPO director is the one that told us to do that. He said, this is the strategy you should use. Then he seems to think that they can find the federal funds to build the bridge.
And who's the head of the MPO?
Dan Avery.
Avery.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
Dawn.
welcome.